Hello to viewers, so talked about recording SNG session this time. The upper right, this bottom open, both of the blinds hold. I pretty much had to call with the top pair. On the third flop, it's kind of an interesting spot because this guy did bet two street earlier on pretty questionable hand here, double barrel with the ace-8. Issue is that this time flop was three-way, so that might also affect things. I think I'm just folding here, which feels a bit weak, but if we called here, I think our plan should be mainly to call most of the blank cards, at least on the river, and I didn't want to do that, so like one general rule in general when you think about calling the turn, for example, is that your hand is rarely going to improve. You shouldn't be doing much of fold turn, fold river, or at least you should be planning to call some rivers as well. So if you just call the turn in hope that will then shut down on the river, it's a bit questionable in general. We'll let him in bet here, so I'm just going to call the king high. Without any backdoor flush draw, I would usually fold, but that sizing was just silly. But yeah, we hit the gutshots, but now he bets half, but folding. Well, I think I'm just going to take the free turn. Especially small blind range is going to be hitting that quite nicely, and I think for this price we pretty much have to call. Don't hit so. Wrap around trips, but that doesn't really help. And this guy has been quite aggressive. I think we have 4 bets. Don't have to, but please call. Just wondering which I want to do. Issue of calling is exactly this. Well, that's obviously really bad flop. I'm just folding right away. Just that, do we want to stack off or pre-flop or call more? I think both options are decent. And it's empty side spot basically on the upper right, so I think we could just try to take the free turn guard if possible. That guy wanted to bet his bottom pair too. Top left I don't mind calling either, but probably mix both of the options with that hand. But in general I'm usually not doing that much of small blind calling. Top left is bit different from normal that the small blind is sitting out, so will be widening my range. We could argue about C betting with the plan to barrel most of the turns that he was equity, or we could check back and aim to. Yeah, just going to check back, and we hit the second set on the. Well, I could try to check, and because that flop is one that I will be C betting pretty wide in general. I think I'm just going to call here. He has decent 9x. He might be value betting her anyway. And if he was folding or something, we allow him the chance to bet again against my weak looking range. And then we obviously shove. Oh, he hit the trips. Nice. Nice for me. But yeah, when you throw occasionally hand like that into your turn check range, well, his turn bet was a bit questionable anyway. Questionable anyway. Five, 10 off, and probably shouldn't be playing that sort of hand. Well, especially as we was 2-3. Well, this guy don't betting big and we hit the trips. We are obviously calling. In general, in this sort of situation, I would pretty much call most of my range. And that I want to continue. Whatever it's a high or pocket aces or pocket tens or whatever. Obviously just calling. I really don't believe he has much outsies. Well, I guess that's why I think I was folding, but man, what river. Oh, he had deuce as well. Anyway, still, my plan would have been to shout the river. Almost any other river, pretty much. That guy got lucky. Big L. Lucky with big L. Quite surprising though that he actually had trips, because very few people are really don't betting. When they don't bet those, it's almost always some sort of top pair, 8x or some sort of pair. It's really rarely trips. Well, especially when it was 2 deuces, which make the trips unlikely anyway. Well, we obviously call with the combo draw. And miss as usual. Well, yeah, super standard turn bet and call. When we are literally beating nothing but has to have a ton of equity anyway. Well, the bright flop is actually pretty nice one. Sixes in general, of course, William might could have easily. He will have a lot of 10x in his pre-flop range, but when there is 2 of them on the flop, it's still going to be somewhat rare that will connect those. And you definitely want to bet sixes for protection and some value. And I think we could go for the bet here. Of course, William might sometimes have 7x or overpair. But considering it's still 6-7-7 with the flush draw, I would expect him to be c-betting. C-betting often with those hands. Was it still kind of a wet layered flop? Well, I suppose as wet as it can be. Well, just checking line, and we hit a nice looking card. So it was limp spots, yeah, limp spots. I think I will go pretty big here in hope that someone has the ace. If they don't, they probably don't call anyway. Considering how the action has gone. Well, bottom right, small blind at least shouldn't really have 7x. Blind, of course, would have. It's kind of a kind of a weak to fold, but also having the 10 of spade is really not good for bluff catching. And the other table, I see that flop decided to check the turn. Maybe we could arrow the turn as well, but yeah, actually had break, which was a bit surprising. I was more worried about the flush, obviously. And we can bet the turn, but it's really nasty if he gets raised here. Well, obviously not folding, so 3 bet. Well, I mean, 6. And we can bet, but I guess kind of questionable how many weaker hands actually give us value. Quite surprised if he's also with better hands, to be honest. Check. So tries to bet small to get some value. I was thinking about just checking bottom left. As we are the middle stack. Pretty great flop. Oh, we hit the pair. Oh, well, I'm going to have some flushes here anyway. And the sizing is pretty big. And top left, if the big blind shove, I have to call because of the both odds. Doesn't show. Probably doesn't really have the AX, so I think I'm just going to leave it, which of course has the issue that not too many weaker hands are going to give any action, but we have such a huge range advantage that it's just fine to see at full range and then deny some equity. And the leader haven't been aggressive pre-flop, I think, so if he was, I might just open fold to A7 as well. And we would check back the turn flopped here, but again, pretty often that we have the best hand and a really dry flop. Try to check the turn toe for pot control. And let's bet small on the river. And that is ugly. I was just starting to say that we'll lay out here. GPV we could call, but if the ICM tier is going to be, I don't think we are going to make. It's pretty close to why not. I think it's pretty close. That calling would be fine anyway. If I had King Jack suited, I would definitely call. But could take image of that spot. Check it later. Well, pocket 8 we are just going to be snapping the button against the small blind. I just don't really believe he's going to be limp showing or limp 3 betting. Hopefully that doesn't happen. It would have c-bet the flop as well. Would be the merit that might evade that type of turns to come. And obviously not limp folding. Some right. And for the right, we are calling against the bottom, against the big blind. Upper right, mandatory shove. Outside table, I try the limp shove. Very aggressive guy, but doesn't go for it. Oh, we step out against the kings. Six four type of hand I would probably have raised into villain shoes. For my polarized range. On 8 safety, big blind tier. This sort of bad for me. But it can be good if we happen to get into a situation that we run over the bubble, but there is obviously risks. 10th chance. And I think I will. Barrel should have a lot of fold equity. Then enough. But he just keeps calling. Oh. Last chance. Took the last chance he had. I think we could shove as well, but let's try to go for small ball option. Now top left, we have to call bottom 5 big blind shove. Not anymore, so did he really get trip 7s? Timed out. Oh well. Oh well. Well, that's the risk of shoving against recreational players. I think that call is way too wide for that. That spot, in my opinion, at least, with the ICM tax. It's awkward turn on the bottom right. Obviously, I'm not folding, but want to offer to Will Lane chance to bet. I think I'm just going to shove here. I mean, and he did bet calls, you don't pair. And we are folding top left. Two triple barrels. Oh, yeah. Yep. With the recent run, feels like it's more likely to lose hand like that than win. And he win. Oh well. And yesterday was just total horrendous run. Pretty much. I mean, it was still quite decent result in the end, just €100 down, but that's fine. 3. 5 big blind in the series and these. Be fine. Should be fine. Do you have the queen? That's what I target mainly. Oh, he has the king, well, that doesn't matter. Split. Yep. Pretty much same yesterday. Oh, does he shove now? We have jacks. So hopefully we don't lose that one. Yeah, yesterday, especially against one regular. So he used the run he had against me. Started to have a feeling that he could be calling any 2 and make decent profit against my shoves. Well, extremely weird flop to be donk betting. Of course he has 4x. Decent amount of time, but or some portion of time, but well, I don't usually see this guy making absurdly. Of course he could have maybe like some 5-6 of hearts or something, but you don't really devalue betting anything weaker at least. But yeah, pretty weird line. So you really want to be done betting that board against a player who has all the overpairs and probably pretty much even amount of trips overall. But yeah, well, they might not be thinking that way. Possibly. Well, I think we want to make smallish c-bet here and hope the villains fold and deny some equity from them. Or that's the aim anyway. Now bottom right, I'm going to shove, but I might be trapping sometimes. But at the time we are going to take the 600 down, which is pretty huge. Now he min raises. Yeah. Still min raise folded. Pretty short stack for that. I mean, you would perhaps argue of the grazing up bottom left, but it was 4-way pot, so. But yeah, we are the one with most 4x basically. Our range, so that's why I was thinking about it a little bit. And also it was button betting, which could have decent amount of errors here. Well, pre-flop with the garbage. in quite a lot of skin areas. 6s are enough, and it's fairly close, but I think we probably want to call as pretty much the weakest good pair. Oh, yep, or not. Well, that's the way it goes. Decided to call bottom left as there is roughly 2 billion draw combos. 5 was with 5 did complete some of those too. Oh, I think I will just fold here. Of course, there is still quite a few busted hands he could be betting. We actually get both of these guys to fold. That's surprising. Well, we showed them what raising preflop means when you 3-bet or 4-bet. Don't make silly mean 3-bets. Kind of interesting flop, but I think I would just bet here and going from here. Obviously ready to stack off the flop if they want. Plus draw and ace being sometimes out, they raise. And of course it might be sometimes that they raise with weaker draw. Well, that's the definition of bad flop against small blind range, almost at least. Suppose it could be a bit worse even. Do we get the showdown? Not enough. Will be 3-bet fold, but one of the good things I would say in this spot is that people might not expect too much of 3-bet folding with the stack depth we have. And bottom left we could 3-bet as well, but just fold. Sometimes we could go for 3-bet like 280 or 300. Twill lane to test out of position. But it's not something you should always do pretty much. So we will have decently limited amount of hands that we want to be 3-bet calling stack off here. Like ace queen being pretty much the bottom of that range, and maybe some pocket 8s or something like that. Well, bottom left, this guy is basically saying he has the 8. And if he gets raised here, he's always going to be behind. He has plain 8x. Top pair. Well, he really hit the king. Also 7-6 got here. Not luckily he checked. Don't know about that. What was the idea of that turn, but two players call. Obviously, I'm more worried about this guy range, and we don't really have much, so it's really dry flop. I don't know, I think we could bet here. Just range advantage we have. Maybe barrel some queen or 10 turns. Of course, the main issue, if this guy on our left actually happens to have reasonable range, is that this range is going to be pretty strong here. That was the thing that was a bit worrying. Worrying my c-bet plan. But at the same time, he seems to be a recreational player who might have way too wide range anyway. And yeah, we can get some A-highs to board also, probably in three-way bots. Ace Jack would have been fine 3-bet if this guy had raised. And let's size up a little bit here. I could have all kind of for the half pots, but whatever. I'm going to check because it's pretty hard to get 3 street anyway, and queen is obviously a bit nasty card. But when he checks, we probably have the best of it most of the time. Try to get pretty much the maximum amount of weaker Jack X and perhaps some 10x. He could maybe have a c-bet on the upper right because this guy shouldn't connect too well on that flop, but at this point I will just try to show down, probably. That's what's going to happen, so well, pretty wet board on the bottom right. This guy bought. I think shoving might be the best option. Let's see, roll call. Was bluffing. Top pair, no kicker, and he sees. Yep. That's the nuts. That's the nut hand. Top pair, no kicker. Seems like we have the same kind of sessions than yesterday. Oh. Trying to multi. Why doesn't it allow me to? Well, that cam is only different positions, and for some reason it doesn't allow me to change the location. I don't know why. I just want to take the whole screen, but just there was some sort of locking going on. That explains it. And we are sitting out at the top left, just widened his calling range. Shove, or at least call. Oh man, 5 outs are on the bottom right. Oh, totally overplayed hand for the William. It's funny because when he bots like that and gets raised, there's basically 2 chances. One, he's totally crushed. 2, he's more or less flipping against some semi-bluff. So basically should never be in actual like good shape pretty much against anything or against the range. In the bottom of my range will be some sort of 1 overcard plus draw. I shout here. Three X open. Funny to see, does he fold or call? And then it raises the question, do you want to be 3xing or, well, I mean 2.5xing, it wasn't 3xing. Or just min raise and get cheaper when you have to fold. Queen 9 is not going to be in the Nash, I believe. The Queen 10 plus. If I had like 9 big blind, I would shove, but it just folds that one. That's one weird shove, but obviously not calling. But flop can't be much drier, and the guy is 2.5x shoving. And 1.5x shoving. Well, anyway. Anyway. That's alright. Why we have to have weak Queen X? I don't think it's quite enough, so Queen 7 maybe. Suited Queen I would have called. Now King Deuce would be an open shove, but can't. Oh. And total garbage on the bottom, which we can't shove. Well, we are not folding against the min raise on the bottom right anyway. With deep stacks, I mean hitting ace or 5 is pretty often good. And we might be ahead, of course. Well, that wasn't good river. Check folding. Definitely on that river. I check on the upper right actually. Have been bet. And again, I think against call. Pretty nasty card distribution. Well, ace 9 is going to be good enough. Even for the call. Eyes rising. One of the good things is that if we get to heads up bot, there is decent chance for us to take also the bot down. That's pretty awkward flop, so. Well, that guy is lucky with my big blind hand. And he checks again. I think I will go for a bet here. I would expect 10x and queen next often. Bet himself, but that was bad river. I think I will go for the raise here. We have the nut cuts and nut plus draw. Does he call? I open raised and check calls the flop and was the turn situation. Then well, top left, if the small blind fold, we definitely call, or probably splitting. Same hand. And both were actually also we had flipped shoots as well. Kind of funny. Kind of funny. 9-8 is pretty close to bottom left. Well, 10 check, I'm going to show. I mean, if it was any bigger, 9, 10, 9, check 9 or something, I would definitely show, but. Or if we had like 10 big blind, I would shout that also. Would have been top 2 without orientis wise if we got the post flop. It was kind of like, am I going to be scared of 8-6 or plus that much when he doesn't bet the flop? I should have bet turned here, but well, as we have somehow got on the river with that hand, we are going to pot it. And top left we have to call, and he has better, but at least we took out momentarily. That's one weird. Oh yeah, he was actually making those mean 3-bets or something. I mean, definitely against this guy we wouldn't fold, but kind of have to be worried about this guy making that flat. Going to shove the ace-4. This guy hopefully understands ICM somewhat okay. Tries to bet bigger, but anyway. Ton of outs bottom left. Can't hit, so I'm actually shoving the reverse here. So many. I think if he has some 10x or something weaker king x, there is high chance that we get called even against the shaman. No draw completed. I'm going to just shove on the top left. And we hit the trips. Trips on the bottom left. I think I'm just going to call here. We have also a bit of a no kicker situation. Sometimes it's always awkward river. Well, we are not folding most of the time, especially not on such smallish sizing. We want to flip. I check here again. I really need to localize and focus more. Check. Well, holding that small of a sizing. I think we can call probably on the left. And this guy loves to barrel a lot. I'm actually thinking about shoving, even though that's in general quite wild without any heart especially, but guy just loves to barrel. So I think it's going to be successful fairly often. Oh. Tricky line. I mean, we are fairly high in our range, so does he really have something better? He does. Well, bottom left, I think shoving is still going to be the best option in general. Well, you don't really love it that deep. Well, setup spot, and we lose. Yeah, nice line with his turn check shoved here. Or fine line, can be leading as well, but I think I'm going to be just betting the range here pretty much on the bottom right. I mean, it shouldn't really hit either of us that much. I have more of the strongest pocket pairs. Lane shouldn't be set mine pre-flops, so I'm just going to barrel here on the turn, and I don't know, maybe give up if he goes again. Well, we actually hit the straight, so I mean, it's irrelevant if he actually has a 6, but is there a chance that he calls us with some sort of king queen if he shall? There might be sometimes. Problem is that he should be checking back on he had. Oh jeez. Oh fuck's sake. Jeez. Oh yeah. A6. Well, we were good until the river. Oh well. That's probably only 6x he can have it here. Still good. Well, quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate hand. Sure what to think about this guy's calling. Well, he shan't Brando's call pre-flop at least. Now this guy, unless deuce or 9 comes, look down, that fellow as well. Suddenly we are on the bubble. Fast changing situations. We could try the limp, being the second stack. I will usually go for pretty limp heavy approach. I think we could check here. It's actually quite hard for him to have these sizings. I would kind of want to call, but guys going so big. Oh, in position, and you are going for 4x 3, but I mean maybe it's fine in some sort of. Oh, we still have the nuts here anyway. Let's hope he actually has like 5 deuce or plus himself. Well, at least he's not snap folding. And override, we are going for bet. Not so lucky hits that Willing probably was thinking about. Do we win with the queen high? Folding. Would easily have the AX limping. I mean, even the gas games, like 100 big blind deep, I don't think it's that standard to 4x in position when you 3-bet. I might be wrong too. But yeah, in general, like I go for 3x or bits over out of position and 3x or bits below when I'm into position. And the thing is that this sort of sizing will already get a lot of votes from a lot of people. Don't really need to go like 4x or 5x necessarily even out of position. I think we are going to invest so much of our stacks that we want to just laser out here. I think folding is a bit too weak, so I'm not ultra happy to stack off here against the 14 or 13 big blind like that shell. But it's just too strong to fold. I was just thinking briefly that is there a sense to just call and go from tier, but not really in my opinion. We are investing so big portion of our stack that, and in limp spots I'm definitely going to bet once he doesn't bet himself. We could go for tin value, but 10 is big troublesome. I think it's probably still best chance to get value. I check, he's going to be checking so much behind. And I don't see too many bluffs happening in general. And upper right will then win raising. I'm not folding much here. And we are going to raise our 2 pair on the turn. Also nicely opens, didn't so was kind of interesting. Question is there value, but I mean, would he really make this sort of line with anything stronger? Would he have like some delayed X or something? In here, I think I'm just going to shove. We probably have some fold equity. I'm pretty surprised if he actually has better hand taking that sort of line. And we lose the flip again. Exactly the first time. Pretty horrendous stack off, by the way. A6 off. Well, that's the best scenario he can hope for, basically, when I shout that I have pocket pair, which he is flipping against and not be dominated. But pretty bad line, got rewarded anyway. I mean, if he had like ace 10 or so, I would say it's standard. But yeah, well, even ace 10 might be somewhat thin overall. I mean, it's fine to 3-bet, but when you get shoved on, probably have to call, but don't be that happy about it, but really going any wider than that is, in my opinion, just pretty spooky stuff. From the AX, I mean, with some sort of king queen, you might be 3-bet stacking off, but so on. But the good thing about king queen is that you are going to be way less likely dominated than a6 off. Six four. Well, let's raise. It's really dry flop, and we have quite vulnerable middle pair, so I think I will go for small bet for equity denial. Well, top left we could raise. I think this is actually kind of a... I mean, we can't really have... It's kind of a situation that if we don't check raise that combo, we are not going to have any sort of check raise call, check raise semi-bluff that we are planning to stack off on the flop. The flop was pretty dry. We can check raise cut shot, but we are obviously not just stacking off with them, so... And also the nice part was that we have the backdoor flush draw, so if the villain call, and especially if the heart comes, we are even more happy. But my plan was to shout it for most of the turns. Anyway, villain calls the flop, because I will have then the valley range to balance out the time when I have hand like that. I'm just going to raise the top pair. Got shot. I mean, we could call as well, we don't need to protect this hand as much, but fine either way. And check 4, stacking off. And upper right. I think we still probably have some fold equity, so I'm going to go for always 3-bet, which will dominate me against him. He wants to stack off, and we can still fold if the big blind 4 bets behind, and we get the fold, which is basically the best outcome. Thinking about betting the river, but let's just check fold. Crappy ace. I mean, something I probably don't do much enough is that won't lead. I mean, we could lead on the flop and mix in some queen X, in my opinion. Well, that's one awkward board run. My plan was to check the flop and barrel a bet on the prior turns, but that changed. That changed here. And upper right 3-betting. It's going to be somewhat awkward if this guy shoves, but I'm stacking off against the initial ranger, but I think he has a tiny bit better. Well, that's pretty much this setup situation. I mean, we were only over 20 big blind deep, so it's pretty standard situation for-handed, especially. Not going to raise the 9-7 because I don't really want to show face big blind shout here. I'm not sure if we can call or fold if we do open. I mean, of course, it's playable hand, so if we face some calling, it's not such. So maybe we would even open. Bottom left, we have showdown value and some playability, so just check it here. And do we win? We do. No need to be betting always. And top right, obviously, pretty crappy turn card. I think he's probably value betting pretty often here. And we don't have a heart ourselves and aces. I will just give up here. Not a good combo to bluff. Slice, but we still have second pair. Interesting turn, as it's somewhat less likely Villain has the king. Of course, it's still very possible. Thing here is that every draw has missed hit checks the turn, which should be decreasing king x a lot, unless he has full house, which doesn't need protection, but I think I'm going to hero call. He was bluffing. I mean, if it's mainly going to be just some full houses, it's going to be still pretty in range. This guy checks behind with two pair. Interesting choice. Especially on such draw report. Well, I'm not going to fold suited deuce with 15 big blind or so. I don't know what I should. Is this strong hand or hard to say what that sizing means. Seems like a garbage this time. That wants to commit himself for God know what reason. I could have actually done a bit smaller on the. That was a mistake. But we still get called. I mean, if we are deeper, I don't mind the 4x, but I think with these stacks we could have gone. We could have gone a bit smaller. Get him more often to pot, but okay. 9 is fine. Luckily he had probably the stronger part of his limping range. And king 8 I limp because I don't want to face shove, which this basically is. But yeah, still cheaper if I raise and face the shove compared to that option. I limp fold. Well, against small c-bets we could probably call on the bottom left. I'm not sure 100 do we want to call or not. Bad backdrop was trying to call, but when we don't really have anything going from the suit department, I'm a bit unsure here. And well, just see that calling on the top right, going to deny that equity in the process. I'm just holding pocket fours. I mean, we could basically set mine, but just that might sometimes happen, and when the bottom has wide range, it's going to be hard to get huge amount of value even when we hit the set usually. Going to decrease the implied value somewhat. Okay. I decided to just shout in his king, and we could have gone for the small 3-bet also. But I mean, we had split over 20 big blinds, so don't really mind either option. Top left, I wouldn't expect a lot of AX from Villain. Of course, he can still have some of them. That's a bit awkward. Awkward turn card. King 9 completing. Some Jack 10 hitting. Not sure about the river, but I think we probably kind of have the bet. But it might be hard to get enough calls, so I was just thinking about that part, that do we really have value bet here or not. might be pretty close. Kind of a nice flop with the ace-5 cutsot as well. Of course, you are not going to be that happy about facing multiple barrels. He goes like 4.5, but I might even fold on the turn. He does. Kind of unfortunate because still have the guts, but he goes so big that interesting. River willing really shouldn't be betting too much. That's what's better for my range. Obviously, we are just checking back here. Oh. Well, that was one of his outs. One of his outs. Just going to bet because I don't really want to be check fold either. But that was pretty crappy turn. Maybe checking would be the best then. I don't know, probably folding if he bets. And bottom left, I think we can call against 1/3. King high is mandatory call. Was it so high? Simply so high in our range. Try to shove the 10-9 and ace check. And one thing to note on the top right is that big blind is never folding, so my range is going to be somewhat tighter because of that. It doesn't make too much sense to be shoving like mid-suited connector or something like that. It's 9 shoving as smallest stack. But I'm gonna have really wide range. Way too big on the upper right. Interesting flop on the bottom left. Kind of thinking about betting, but we have pretty high showdown value. Might have the jack X, so the turn was a bit crappy. All nines doesn't 3-bet. Hell. Why the hell you don't 3-bet that hand? Oh. Like he wants to play out of position. With hands that is going to face over cards often. I mean, super standard 3-bet in my eyes. If you want to slow play, use some sort of bigger pocket pair. Queen's plus or something. But, yeah. Styles differ. We get the gutsot. Have bet myself, but we could have actually opened the ace deuce here and ace 9. We have call, even dominate and dominate the trips. Yeah. Alive on the upper right. It was pretty much the same yesterday, and well, more or less previous month. More or less on the previous month as well. I'm not going to take 10 euro anymore. We get enough 25s. I was thinking about shoving the queen 10. I think it's pretty close if we want to shove or min raise, but the min raise is still fine. Awkward turn. Well. And that's also one thing that Oslo Port seems to have something against me. Well, just variance obviously, but it can be a nice shoving hand on the bottom top left. Well, against the small blind we are thrilled to call. And it would be a nice shoving hand. So this guy probably opens and we get shove. Well, top left, there is no chance that we are folding, obviously. And queen jack, we can actually go for non-all-in option. Well, that was huge setup. I'm going to raise the queen deuce because big blind seems to be sitting out. We don't usually open that, so. And 8-10, I will open shove, so it's pretty much the bottom. So hopefully not getting called. I think even 10-7 off we could still shove, but I might also choose to limp with it. King 5 would have been probably fold with the ICM. 7 queen will go into shoving range. Any weaker I wouldn't shove again. Kind of funny that we get the absolute bottom of the shoving range type of hand all the time. And flip top left, this time we actually hold. And again bottom right, pretty much the weakest hand. Unfortunately being dominated. Queen 10 off would have been the bottom from the queen x off pretty much, and queen 8 suited is pretty much the weakest suited queen we want to out here. Ace 5 is call. Evade, luckily he doesn't have diamond. And 10-8 is very strong here. I think king 6 we could try to limp, it's not quite strong enough to. We can shove, but I think it's pretty much, you know. So that's necessarily mind, just go for the limp. And on the flop we have sold down value, so I mean, maybe we could check call, but just that on quite many Many turns we are going to be folding 10. No queen. And we win anyway. And sixes we can't call. Sevens we can pretty much do whatever we want here. Ace-10 shooters we don't really want to induce. If I do min raise, I would stack off against either of them shoving, but I don't think it's really strong enough to go for it. Think about leading top right, but at the same time, when we have the king of go up, I don't think we need as much protection. Of course, it goes kind of both ways. That if we get action on more board runouts, we have easier decisions when we have the clubs. So that's actually something that I often think that which is the more sensible way of thinking. King 7, that's marginal one. Don't remember seeing too much aggression from this guy. And pretty unfortunate run out on the top right. I think we probably want to fold. Well, A7 would be all on the bottom left. Nicely dominating. So well, King 9. I mean, don't really want to shove, but plan is going to be limp call pretty often here if I do limp. 10 was pretty crappy one, obviously. So I think we can still valley, but river. Oh, he has a 10 and didn't valley but himself. No. As such, turn was crappy. I just jumped the 8-5 shooter, should be decently plus EV. Ace Jack is obviously not. Same hand, unfortunately. Thinking 4 we could go for with 12 big blind. Just go for it, I'm not too happy about it, so I don't really want to open fold or limp. I mean, no option is on the field that good. King 8 shielded is kind of a close one. I don't know, maybe a bit tight to fold. Just a stack setup and ICM that makes it a bit awkward in my opinion, at least. If we could just check rush, check shove on the top right. That settles the. Luckily he has 9s and not checks. And set up, we have the guts, so no help. Unfortunately, no split either. Not really sure what this guy is going to have, but make small bet, which is kind of an induce attempt. Maybe he tries to bluff sometimes. And unfortunately we lose the edge up top left. Pretty much the deciding hand was that AX setup situation. And deuces unfortunately don't win. On the bottom left. And going to put the ace blocker into min-raise folding range. Checking this flop. And obviously calling against the small blind. Interesting spot against the kind of awkward with that scenario. Yeah, well, I was min raise, we have to fold. I think I first somehow shown that it would have been limp, but I don't think we can call it here when it's min raise and shove. If this was suited, I would just open shove, because we definitely don't want to end up raise folding, but offshoot I'm still fine with the min raise fold plan. Get two pairs as well. I was thinking about checking and trying to give him the chance to bluff with some busted draw type of hand. And didn't want to go too big because I think it's quite hard for him to have that much of calling hands. And pocket nines we are obviously raise calling, and that's nice flop. Alright, I'm going to 3-bet call. Cold calls. What the hell? I mean, I don't think we can really fold, but it's better to check and go for small c-bet. Weird stuff. I'm going to just raise on the bottom left. Well, luckily he didn't shove. I would have probably called still, so we don't have liked that. So I think we got extremely cheaply away here. Okay, nice turn. Not so nice river. Oh man. For once we suck out and well. Oh well. I think it's kind of a setup as well. Of course we don't have to be raising the flop, but I think it's fine. Oh, that's crappy spots on the upper right. Do we want to go for thin value on the bottom left? We probably want to just check, have some check calling hands. Old seat is runner 2 pair. I mean, seriously. What is the chance for that? Oh, yeah. What is the chance for that, I wonder? Well, this guy makes really, I mean, ace deuce could call earlier. Wonder if we could just see bet that flop. Runner, oh jeez. Funny stuff. I mean, when he doesn't barrel the turn, it should decrease huge amount of top pairs and better. Because there was like 2 flush draws and straight draws and what the hell is this? Probably clicked some wrong button. So yeah, I think he would barrel a lot of the and he wins. Weaker hand. I mean, maybe it's just that I exaggerate my, what's the term? Exaggerate or something like that anyway. Feels like pretty absurd run overall. I will just try to check the showdown. Not the greatest board run, so many weaker hands have hit. It appeared here. I wouldn't usually open this sort of hand with these stack depths, but at the same time this guy is not really 3-betting, so it's not really as big of an issue. Now, of course it's 4 diamond. We would bet here. He shoves. Well, let's take the risk. Yeah. Yep. Oh. Can't hit. Oh, really standard shout here. Really standard shout. I was thinking about shoving with the ace king to evade this sort of situation, but this guy doesn't seem to be 3-betting really. It feels like shoving is still going to basically end up losing some value overall. And so we might get into some fold outside hand. Almost timed out. Was bluffing, luckily didn't barrel anymore, I would have folded. Does he really raise folds too? No. Must be total error. Great looking flop, at least having the flush draw, but can't Can't hit. This guy hits backdoor royal flush. Well, in my opinion, my pre-flop luck has been absurdly bad, but we are still actually on pretty much break-even situation so far. I'll pocket 3 shove. Three! No. Yep, it was looking way too good. Bubble situation. Windows. Jack 9. I think I'm going to shove with the NDs. Really close to. Probably. I'm not actually sure, like, without NDs I think it would be fold, but are the NDs enough to turn it into marginal shove or not? Not really totally sure about that. Ace Jack, we are obviously snapping. We are dominating and yeah. God damn it. It's funny that when I have like totally alive hands constantly and still end up losing. Anyway. Pretty tough to see too many bluffs here on ace-6 deuce rainbow. Flop. Gutshot on the, or actually double gutshot. If we are specific. Now we have the straight. I think we probably want to wonder if we could. I think I would shove SPR1 roughly. I don't think he's going to balance his checking range with that many better hands. We get stop pairs call, nice. Nice one. And yeah, you might be bored of my whining about to run this video, but it's just that when you have a long period of time that it goes pretty much the same, it tends to start rub on the wrong place, so to say. This guy raises, we have the diamond as well. I think I'm just going to call and this comes. The thing is that he shouldn't really have too many aces, so he might lose, but I'm not sure if he shall. Does he call with the jack, but well, he needs a 3-outer. It's totally stupid flop bluff in my opinion. I mean, how many better hands are going to fold when you bluff raise with ace 10? I wonder. Value bet small, try to aim some queen x, maybe weaker ax if he happens to have those. Might be a bit questionable river bet though. Ace 10 for God's sake. Funny stuff again. From all the combos you could be bluffing with pussies, one with the showdown value and not too much. Well, we are obviously barreling here. No call, so well. But anyway, run is what it is. You can't really affect that. It's just the decisions you can. So that's what we try to do as best as we can. Look at lines, obviously. Pretty nutty, no action, so. Just check, we might be able to use the ace-4 as bluff catcher. I mean, there is quite a few. 9-10, queen 9, queen 10, club combos. That's not the greatest river card, so wonder if he would value the 10x. Alt 7, 9. Yeah, that was obviously. I didn't really think he would call that white pre-flop at all, but yeah, people seem to like those calls. Not profitable in my opinion. I would be 3-betting in Will issues if I want to play that combo. Well, pretty drawy board, so don't have ace of diamond right here. Some sit hand probably again. Somewhat interesting turn. I think we could try to barrel off some 10x, 9x. Of course, he might have some AX. Or ace 9, ace 10 might be raising flop, I suppose. Even 9, I was more worried about some queen 9. Make a bit more sense, but yeah. I mean, that's just definitely league overall when you call that wide small blind, in my opinion, at least. Let's min raise against 2 limpers. That seems like a solid plan. Kind of have to wonder what they think when they go for those. It doesn't build the pots and it doesn't create fold equity. Well, we have pretty much the best value combo hand we can have here. Not plugging any draws, not stop pairs or pairs. 7-8 completed. Of course, we might have it, but have to keep betting. I'm going to limp on the top right, try to go for a limp shove if everyone folds. Now we are folding ourselves. Now this time we hold. And yeah, the rough parts in this, like when you play on the Unibet, you have no tracking, so this, in my opinion, it's a bit easier. Easier when you play on the side that has tracking. You can see actually that, like the EV run, and of course I'm not saying EV is grasping all the luck factors theories, but I would say that especially on SNCs, it's still quite a big, one of the biggest factors on the like how your result is going to look, because like here in the bottom right we are in the bubble, there is going to be a good amount of proof of shell situations, and those are going to be kind of the biggest money wise transactions between the stacks here, stack values, so it has a lot to do with. Here was the reason why I don't do too much ace king limping usually when I trap. 5-3 we still have to fold. Oh, that flop action was quite kind of interesting as well. And 6-10 I'm going to shove, hopefully we get fold. Now he hit the top pair, oh 6, nice. Kind of interesting that he goes for the shove here. Yeah, I don't really blame him calling anyway. I mean, he has 2 overcuts of 1 diamond. Still pretty decent equity if he runs into some 1 pair, and that line doesn't really look like 2 pair plus in my eyes. Sounds, of course it basically should be, because and huge setup. Pair versus pair on the heads up, pretty rough start for that. Well, pretty rough start right away. 6-9, I believe not in the NES range. Would be 5.8 big blind, so yeah, not going to be enough. Oh, we would have hit the top 2 pair. The issue with the king 8 type of hand tier and 3-way pot is that we are going to be quite easily dominated. And jack deuce also pretty 5.6 big blind. I'm not actually sure against the min raise what we should be doing. Can we call or not? Problem is that we invest so much of our remaining stack to see the flop that are we going to hit the flop often enough? Well, might be a bit outside of the NES, but let's try anyway. Well, ace jack, we are obviously stacking off. There is some argument in raising top left, but the issue is that do we really want to be stacking off if we bet king 9, I'm going to link call. No point to bet really on the bottom right. Have showdown value. I think it's a bit too thin to value bet on the river, and there is the straight possibility. We would try to get 8x to call, but it's kind of questionable. Is it going to call anyway? It might actually be good on the bottom left way, but split good. Oh, 3x now. Kind of unfortunate. We have kind of a hand that would want to see the flop, but I don't think we can against the 3x profitably. You can limp here, but I would kind of prefer to have some sort of read that villain is going to try to punish limping often, because then you'll get a lot of those situations that villain check and will have the ace king high a good portion of the time and so on. I'm just shoving the king 5 as well, it's going to be somewhat plus EV. This time he wakes up, but we suck out. Well, pocket kings, time to punish the limpers. Different stories, they punish me post-flop, so I'm pretty surprised if everyone folds. Well, I'm going to check here, blocking so much of his continuing range, and I'm just going to shove here. I mean, yeah, maybe he would shove turn sometimes if he has total air, but there can also be a decent amount of some draws he maybe have. And it works both ways, like maybe he doesn't stack off with the 8s if I just call and Fort runs in some nasty way for his hand. Well, seems like he is quite aggressive against you. Limping. Going to try to check raise on the top right. I think he can have a decent amount of big text here. Unfortunately, he doesn't. But yeah, that hand probably not calling anyway. Likely at least. Well, holding king 10 if he shoves down. Yeah, he doesn't. Oh well, he 2 pair here, but for a flush on the board. I mean, well, it was limp spot, so basically he could have some 3-5 type of hand, but just fold. I think he has so much of the plus combos anyways. Well, 7-8 we have to shove. Of course, it's good to remember that even if you limp some stronger hands, you want to definitely also have stronger hands in your shoving range, and unfortunately we are not ahead on the bottom right. And outside, I'm going to shove here against the. Suppose it was donk bets, unfortunately the plus. Suppose we could have c-bet on the top left. And in 3-way. 9-6 suited. I think it's probably better to shove still. Has quite a bit of equity overall. Some run good in here, but we still have to finish it. Well, one thing I've learned about heads up, that don't lip your lip. That's the word. Oh. Lips, but what is the walleye in English? Not coming to my mind. Well, anyway, the Finnish saying is that don't be happy before you actually finish the thing, so to say. I'm going to raise small. My plan is to stack off if someone shoves, as we are going to get pretty nice pot odds. Interesting if this guy shove, because then it opens a possibility for me. And it has nice playability, so. Now the question is, Don't think we want to really bet fold. Checking might be fine, but it's just a bit awkward when this happens and we don't turn any equity. I don't know. Would it be better to just bet call or? Don't really want to be bet folding, so. I think we could call here, place some AX in our range, and I'm kind of unsure if we have that much fold equity pre-flop, as he's opening, and here is this 7 big blind bottom guy also. I don't think he ever raise folds against him at least. No point to bet with this hand, so. And that would have been the end of that game if I shout, at least. In top left we could shove, but I think calling is fine as well. The risk reward is not exactly awesome for shoving pre-flop. Almost 30 big blind deep. But luckily we didn't hit the ace. Let's just call. Don't want to be 3-bet folding. And let's take the risk that this guy is trapping, or blind wakes up while we are still flipping. Yeah, can't hit. Add 10 outs after flop. Like this constantly, and if the villain has like king jack and I have the ace 8, it's king coming up so often. Well, don't we get any action? Let's take 10 euro games. Boom, 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 boom. Cuts total air a bit. Pretty big tier. Luckily he didn't bet the river, wouldn't have been fun spot. Not plugging flush, and I might still have slow played AX and such. So it's kind of a situation that when he goes that big, I wonder if he has like king jack, king queen type of hand necessarily that much. This guy calls with don't do that, or if you do, follow up always with king's plus or something, and have a good reason to do it. Like maybe a really fizzy opponent on the big blind you definitely want to get in the pot. Something like that. King high is good. Actually is nice. Seven, 8. And fold H. Probably want that one. This should be wall pretty often. We want to raise this type of hand. Well, let's try. Not something I would necessarily recommend as default option, but of course when you flop two pairs it's not that bad of a plan. Just have to remember plan that two pair flopping. Just shoving to 8-10. Put the maximum pressure on the mid stack. I mean, if you min raise, we still have to call against small stacks. So. I kind of doubt this guy is really going to have enough limp calling range unless he goes like some crazy hand. Seems to be trying to play constantly. Deuces, we have quite a lot of outs. Let's hit. Well, ace-9 suited, we can actually raise call. I mean, yeah, of course. Kind of forgot that this guy is of course calling from small blind. A nasty board. But yeah, it's still fine. Fine hands to be playing on the position. Wonder could he still be raise folding? I think this guy might be typed that he actually has too much. I was a bit worried about that he might, but I was thinking that he's the type of player who might be just in raise calling most of his range and not shoving really. I was thinking that he can still raise call with a lot of weaker hands than mine. But he unfortunately actually had to. Not pretty much the weakest AX I would have shouted here. Got shot. Thinking about min raising also because I don't know if this guy is going to be really 3-betting that much. I'm just going to check back. We don't really want to bet and face a raise on the top right, so. And when we have the ace of diamond, we don't need as much protection, but I don't think we can really fold against the half pot. He could be value betting like king 10 or something like that. Something like that. That's kind of Daniel Necrano moment. To say what Willen has. But yeah, of course, if you do like that's a funny thing about those you have seen on YouTube, those Daniel Necrano magical reads that when you do enough of those, obviously there are going to be exactly the correct hand placing. I'm not sure how much he's doing that, but oh Jesus, what flop? That's the flop you want to see. With tens after 3-betting. This is kind of worst possible hand to be continuing here. That has showdown value. We are plugging the jack 10 pretty much as we can. That's not a good thing if you didn't know that. Well, we hit in a way on the bottom left, but really helping that much. I think we want to bluff the river, probably. We don't have the club, we don't have much showdown value, we block. different sort of hand, quite a bit. Pair. Didn't think about folding, it seems. But I think it's spots where we can have so many strong hands are also beating his hand. But yeah, didn't work out. I was thinking about shoving as well, but I don't know, probably would have failed. Folding two pairs most likely. Most likely. But yeah, said I kind of like my bluff attempt as a play. Result itself is of course kind of, in a way it's irrelevant. In a way it's not. I mean, by that I mean that if we see Will-Lane hand, like if he had called here with some second or third pair or something, then we would say that our bluff attempt probably wasn't targeted towards the best possible target, but I mean, when he calls two pairs, you can't really blame him for it. So. Well, I will check raise here, but it seems like this guy is not really hitting flops too much. We don't block the spade, but no. It's kind of a nice spot again to bluff when the one type of the semi bluffs does complete, which I could have. Well, we hit the rips here. I would have value, but decent amount of reverse anyway. We probably want to see, but here still have quite a bit of range advantage. This is kind of unfortunate. So. I don't know, we probably want to fold. He could easily have higher flush draws himself. Interesting spots on top left. I think we could value bet here. We are still ahead of the draws and lose x3x pretty much. And top left is pretty standard double barrel. Luckily it worked this time. In general, flush draws are something that you want often to double barrel, but not necessarily triple barrel often at all. Once we learn to have those flush draws, which is less likely if you block will learn having that. Well, I'm just going to travel bits like 25 pp, whatever we have on the bottom right. Well, I could have actually done bits bigger on the top left as it's so drawy. Draw with port. Yeah. 3x, I believe this is the first time, but I think 910 is still kind of a tight to fold. Not a good flop, especially against that sizing. I mean, it's that fold was way too tight. Good. But definitely played. So Traveler definitely played that one. Even this one is totally fine to limp or min raise sometimes. I think this sort of hand we can just fold, especially as Willem is somewhat aggressive against the limping. And I'm going to a little bit treat here. Obviously, it's also to build up the pot somewhat if we happen to improve on the river. Caught with 6-9. And obviously we are c-betting top right after 3-betting and stacking off. I was thinking about betting on the revert here top left, but we are basically just saying that we have 9x pretty much most of the time. We do that. Pretty thin attempts, I would say. He actually has better. Oh, that's the downside of shoving that sort of king 10 that you might have. I was thinking that I have been so passive against the limping, but well, for once you go for the aggressive move and he has hands to go. Well, we hit the set here, so when we are from small blind, it's not really our flop, but I don't think he's going to bet that often on the turn, probably just checking, so let's bet and hope he calls with a high mostly. I don't think he has much else behind that, and it's really dry flop, so I'm just going to bet half, but I mean, maybe he even raises if he has like ace jack type of hand. Well, if you have better, quite unfortunate if he shows up for pocket fours or sixes, that's probably mainly the hand we could be behind here. Now he's thinking with jack x, maybe. Most likely king jack is jack. Well, ace deuce we could have eyes raised, but it's one of those hands that, well, I probably should have raised here. It's going to be a bit better than folding anyway. But yeah, the post-up scenarios often limper will call and ace deuce obviously not playing it that well, so that's why it's not really like fist bump situation in my opinion. Well, top right we are obviously 3-betting here. Snap call. Well, we have to stack off here. Pretty rare that they show off with big pockets, but also it's possible after that action. Just calling from the bottom. Nice moment to wake up with such a hand from myself. Well, I'm going to bet top right as we got counterfeited here. I mean, kind of want to call, but I don't think we are going to be in that great of a shape usually. The open razor, hit to raise. Guess what are called here again. Just getting pretty nice pot odds. Even though the hand is probably going to be dominated pretty often. Let's lead on the upper right. Don't really want to check calls that much. Would check raise sometimes. We could call here. I mean, 3-betting is not bad either. Folding is not really absurd option. I think all options are somewhat decent. Seems like this is not going to be much of a session. Pretty much break even still. Min bet. We create some fallback. We have pretty nice stack for it. Thank you. Winning with the 6 highs is always nice. And that result with green dose, unfortunately. Running the calling hand. Thin value achieved. Well, tough or impossible for flop to be any drier than that. No ace or king, and we are barreling. Wow, that's quite interesting line if he actually has. Yeah, I'm not folding, just calling so that if he has backdoor flush, he gets to complete. Well, the point is that if he has the flush, it doesn't matter if I shove or call that much because it's going to be all in anyway. I'll get 4. Well, wouldn't really fold that many better hands to be honest, but I suppose that was bluff attempt. I mean, you're not going to be that happy with some sort of I think we could lead here. I don't think the lane actually has that many, but we can also mix in some drawing hands or donk betting the turn. And we lose against the Queen 10. Oh man. kind of forgot that the table was visible here. He didn't have the fifth table outside. Well, 4x is not too likely. If someone has it, big blind might most likely, but we kind of have to value it here. Strong top pair. There is still the flush draw possibility. But yeah, I think there has been decent amount of interesting spots. Pretty long recording, it's also about 2.5 hours at this point. Not really that long, I suppose, for a session. Quite a bit, 3-4 betting smallish here. I would with mainly sometimes with some king jack type of hand, or maybe some AXs. Fortunately, I don't have two hearts. That would be definitely shove. Bottom left. I think grabbing 9x here is going to be pretty tough, so holding. I was actually thinking about playing Omaha first, but there was actually decent amount of SNGs running, so I decided to play these right away. I think with the suited ace it's pretty close, but don't really love it, but offshoot would be snapfold. Diamond gave hope, but I think we can call bottom right. We still have also sometimes the best hand. I think he's not going to barrel that often. We will have a decent amount of AX obviously calling from the small blind, so I don't think he's bluffing that likely anymore on the third street. So the plan would have been to fold to triple barrel. And I'm just showing the king jack. It's kind of questionable if we can raise call. But shove is definitely plus EV. And shove on the top left. This is extremely standard with the suited ace. Well, I suppose we could try to limp with the 7-6. Of course, the issue is that so is exactly his. Not sure, maybe we could think about calling, but the thing is that it's going to be quite low SPR against the shorter stacked here. No brainer call, at least before set. This guy is fizzy, so you can see. I'm not that worried necessarily that he often has better, but it seems like the ace-9 actually didn't quite win. Oh well. Yeah, if I thought that this guy is more of a solid player, I'd have folded here. But I think we have seen quite a lot of fizzy stuff in general. So this, for example, seems pretty fizzy to my eyes. Sizing wise, at least. Whoa. Oh. Have some stop right. I'm making some fast clicks currently, or indicious on. But it would have actually been really marginal from the cutoff LNTs. And usually if I assume that villain is more fizzy, I'm not doing like triggers that much. But we can definitely think about mint rebidding. Also something villains will be doing. Of course it doesn't really tell what sort of range villain will have, but I have to call the flop at least. Oh well, really dry, we also blocking check. I need to call on the top left because this guy was betting for waypot, so I didn't assume that much fold equity, but folding felt kind of weak anyway. That hand probably would have folded. I don't know, folding feels weak, but he bets quite a big, so. Alright, is fine to set mine. Oh, nice board from top left. I actually kind of didn't think about the bottom left situation, but game checking is fine. Because when you have top right, we have to stack off and need something good which do. Because when we check call this sort of hand, we have some protection for the check range. That's kind of an interesting board. I think I will check and try to get him to bluff, folding to most sizings. Well, as default, I'm going to shove really close to any two on the top left. One of those dream scenarios to be in. And we kind of have to call here anyway, a7. And yeah. I don't know, it just feels like this happens all the time. Then it's other way around and there's ace the flop or something. Well, again shoving. Well, this time we hit. Fold. This guy really calls it out. Ace deuce will be all in some form. Tiny bit ahead. We hold. Man, this guy uses. Maybe I should fold pre-flop simply because he uses such big sizings. Would have had straight on the bottom right. By the way, what was the pre-flop when I didn't play that hand? Okay, well, it was 4 big blind. Also, it's fine to fold that. Well, let's just go for the shove. I was thinking about limp shoving as well. Both options are reasonable. Well, the thing is that I don't think this guy again is 3-betting that much, though small blind might be, and of course he will add timing for me. I mean, I could have shoved, but this is nice outcome of ranges should be kind of other way around. King Jack calling here is just goes. Oh well, had to donate him. I mean, if you are lucky, King Jack is going to be ahead of bottom of the villain range, but definitely not hand that is going to beat the range itself. Well, basically villain should have a decent amount of King X, I suppose. We could just save it and stack off, but I often go for the check in these sort of situations. Or when he checks, I would imagine King X to lead usually, so bet for some thin value and protection mainly. I don't think we are often getting check raised here. That wasn't really good river. Two 7, kind of questionable flop call in my opinion. And then he hits 3 outer. Well, I'm going to stack off with the top bottom pair. What size bets though? I don't know, can we stack off here? If he had bet a bit smaller, I would stack off, but now I'm questioning if I have any sort of fallback with this one. He had bet like 300 or something, I would assume that he might be a bit folding. Well, Jesus, that guy got lucky here. 4 outer. But anyway, doesn't really matter which guy wins as long as it's not split. And again, losing when I'm ahead. Yeah, it's like 60. Not actually, I hit 65, 35 or something. That's scenario, something like that anyway. I think we don't really want to be c-betting bottom right. That's pretty nice turn in general. Let's call. Now it's kind of an interesting spot. I'm actually thinking about checking. We have a lot of AX, so how often? Villain shouldn't really bet turn. with the AX. I think there's some danger that we will might look check raise with the troops, assuming that I bet him ace here often, so I don't know. Maybe I think too far. Maybe I think too far. I believe it's hard spot to get value, and we don't like if we get check raised. Of course, it could be like that type of hand. Maybe he would sometimes check raise as bluff, but we do bet we probably want to think about at least. I went for limp 3-bet and pot still. He had bet small, I might call, but pot is not exactly small. Walk, probably not. I mean, this sort of hand, especially as second stack, we can be happily folding. Not that happily necessarily, but folding anyway. But yeah, in general, I would say that don't mean raise from the small blind. Well, I'm just going to 4-bet top left. Maybe we could just call, but I mean, when the well-laid 3-bets like that, it announces that, hey, I'm a recreational player, if we want to be politely correct with terms. Polite with terms. Of course, it doesn't mean that he can't have big pockets, but it increases chance for stuff like that, for example. Oh my. Now. Oh yeah. I'm going to call, and he actually has the 8-9. Thinking that he doesn't have that many 9x probably. Yeah, of course it's runner straight when he has 3 outs from the flop. Oh, well, actually, I suppose hitting ace would have been out as well, but 5 outs directly and 10 toes straight runners. Out the flush draw on the flop, I would have folded. River probably. Does he 3-bet? No. No, I think we want to bet this flop anyway. We can go pretty small even though it's kind of a drawy. Checking back turn. Hopefully he doesn't donk bet. Well, 6 wasn't really greatest card, 5-4 also completed. Can go so many better ways this board run out once again. Every draw completes almost. Both of them call on the top left. I think we could check here. SPR 1 it's over, so maybe we get something crazy going on from this guy in the positions by checking. We don't really need protection. Try to bet anyway if he has the ace. Queens go crazy for some reason. I don't know why he doesn't show pre-flop, but anyway. Don't really see much point in betting. He shows on the flop. Double gut shot. And it wouldn't be such a bad flop to lead, but I mean, we definitely don't want to get raised. So, but of course, when he shoves 4x the pot almost, we are folding. Money sizing. Seems like some sort of overprotection, or maybe he had just must draw. Queen Jack was too wide called here, but unfortunately he got lucky. Well, probably have some fold equity. L4 on the flop. He actually holds to the end. Some nice suckouts here. Well, bottom right we have to shove that depth. And run right away into nuts basically. Call. This guy seems to be quite the calling machines. Hopefully he folds mount, so it's really dry flop, so let's try anyway. And pot call. Well, we hit the queen. Of course, you never know, even if maybe they even have the. I think I'm going to shove here. He might even call the act here. 4-5 and ace. Oh, let's see, it's kind of funny. Lost the boat. Away. This small blind, well, kind of deserved the outcome. I mean, first he limps after the limper and he doesn't 3-bet when I raise and this guy call. Awkward turn, but obviously, even if he has the straight, we have a ton of equity. No help from the river, so. Oh, head. Nice flop on the bottom right. Kind of unfortunate to hit that queen when totally crushed by both of them. One form of bad run, because I would have been just giving up without improving. And yeah, bottom right, standard shove and standard call from the blue lane. She's always shoving basically. Like up to 20 big blind or a bit over, you can be pretty happy to just open shove small boys pairs. We got the heads up here on the top left. Now let's try to limp, hopefully we don't get faced or shoved on, faced on. I was thinking about shoving for this scenario, because of that scenario. Thing is, if he raises small, we can just call easy. Well, this guy likes to shove at least. Queen jack, then I see up to 20 big blind, so go with it. We are dominating. Luckily, it's not quite a split foot. Almost. I will take just the free river. Well, let's shout the a7. I was thinking about limp calling also, but both options are fine. Well, we just have to not try to limp that much. This guy seems to be constantly shoving. Well, let's go for the shove ourselves, can't really do much else. He shoves all the time. We have hands like that. We don't really want to be just open folding all the mediocre hands because the lane goes crazy all the time. No fucking luck. And we run into nuts here as well. Time to bet and bet decent amount of rivers. Top left. And 6 is hold. Would have been an interesting spot if he bet the river. Not sure what I would have done. Depends on deciding as well. Well, queen high has some showdown value, so I'm going to check call on the top left. But he had the 7. But yeah, definitely not folding if I bet myself at least one street. But yeah, we have hands with less showdown value that we can bluff with. Tried to bet 90, but whatever. Oh, raise. Interesting. Doesn't raise the turn, but raise the blank. Unless he hits on 2 pair with the 4x. It's kind of a weird looking line. I will just half pot bet. I don't think we can fold, but don't really mind calling either. Pot size makes this bit awkward. I was calling, but against any smaller sizing pretty much would have called. Let's try to limp trap bottom left. On the top left I go for sizing, I would use with the 10x as well. Unfortunately he has the 10x. Usually not good when you try to represent some type of hand and villain has something in that vicinity. I will not see betting against 2 players, bottom left. Ace. Oh. Low played to the end. Maybe he was trying to check raise or something. Well, top left we can go either way, I would say. It's like 10 jack, I would basically always see, but 8 jack, I would always check, and I think that hand is kind on the middle, that you can go either way. Either way. Now King Jack beats us. It's possible he has that, but of course we kind of have to value bet the river. We might get some 2 pairs to roll call, or maybe some 6x. Maybe even plain top pair, it seems. The lead spot I would have properly let the flop, because this guy haven't been betting that much, but I don't know. And he raises himself. Do we want to necessarily lead that much? Or the big blind 3-bet shove. Oh well, what flop? I don't know. Should we check fold? Check. I don't really like check calling that much. Does that make sense? I don't really know what would be the best options here. Wonder if we could get some 9x type of hands to fold. I haven't been really 3-betting, and king is probably going to be somewhat of a scare card. Turn set on the min bet. Is ever going to be plus? I wonder. Sometimes it will be, but I think I'm going to try to bluff. Okay. Suppose that makes somewhat sense. Will be check call on top left. And well, most likely again. Pocket 3 is almost mandatory shove. Rendo's call. Luckily we win. A6 of 20 big blind shove. Solid. That's really bad call. Really bad one. Folding on that board. Quite a lot of possible semi-bluffs, of course we block some of them. Some of them. Oh, he has the full house. Well, that hero call failed. Raise. Oh well, do we actually fold that? I mean, my plan was to stack off, obviously, but when they take the line, that is absolutely not looking. Make a hero fold. Such a classic of this line with the nuts. Or sometimes it's something else, but I won't think straight. In general, if I had steer straight draw with overcard, I would lean toward more calling in general, because in a way that it has more playability. Well, let's lead with the check 9. And I actually have fourth table here. Manually sizing again. Would have called that. I think I had some sort of pocket pair it on previous orbits. He didn't shout that time. Well, I would have stacked off the 5 here. Of course, not like ultra happy situation, but a great situation. Well, 2 pairs. I'm going to bet the turn, so it's not great if he raises. But I think I will stack off anyway. But he doesn't raise. Still have strong 2 pairs though. Or strongish. Ah, what? And that guy is quite a calling machine over in the end. He's 6. I think we could just shout. So this guy haven't been raising that much, so yeah, I actually prefer just calling because of that. And obviously check calling and check calling pretty much no matter what the turn is. And not really folding that much. I mean, it's pretty rare that we have better hands than this, and we don't really block that many draws. That was kind of an unfortunate revert. Can't fold anyway. Money bluff hand because I don't know. Bet. We would raise, of course. His halves I call, but I don't think that happens often. Yeah, king queen triple barrel. I mean, it has pretty nice showdown value, so there really any reason to turn it into bluff. Well, I can't fold king 10 here. This guy might also value bet some weaker hands and have some queen jack and such. I wouldn't be surprised if he has queen 10, jack 10, bet 3s, I suppose. Well, that should surprise me, I suppose. 4-way pot. Hey, come on. That's definition of spooey. Or I suppose it would. That's not even spooly, it's just something way beyond that. I mean, if he's lucky, I have queen jack myself, and he only faces 15 outs, which will be ahead equity wise. Well, I'm not ultra thrilled about the bottom left, but I'm not folding the other button versus blind, even if it's 3-bet, 4-bet. Oh, can't hit. Oh well. That was the weakest hand I would call here. Unfortunately, I didn't have something just a bit better that would have dominated. Totally pocket sevens. Well, it has been quite long. Like we are not getting too much action, so I'm going to end this session. Get sevens easy shove. Let's move this to top left. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say when you don't have any tracking that how the EV has been going, but can't do anything about it anyway. So he's then sucked out here. This guy is funny. Oh, unfortunately, he didn't win. Well, he probably shoves. We could be ahead of his range, but I mean, we don't really want to be gambling with that weak of a hand. We probably don't want to play this in the first place because he probably shoves. Seems to be total steam mode. Total steam mode activated. Be nice to get some decent hand. Question is, does he really go like any two? Do we want to raise call like king 10 or something? At least not any two, it seems. But if this guy folds and bottom shoves, I think we could go for the call. I mean, I don't love it, but this guy could have really wide range. We show that queen 7 3-bet shove, so let's again queen 7. Carry turn, but we actually hold rising. Definitely not standard plate here. I mean, usually if we face 20 big blind bottom shove, my assumption would be that Will then has small to medium pocket pair like 80% of the time and then something else occasionally. Much, and that wouldn't be good for the ace 8. We don't really want to be like flipping in the SNGs in that sort of situation, especially when we are so deep stacked. But then when you consider he could have some random trash basically. I think it changes into we folded quads here. No deck reach. No deck reach. Have to fold the right table, at least on monotone board. I think we could open limp 7-6, have some playability. Old check so. I think this was the guy who 4-bet 7s, kind of deja vu with ace king. Any position, so I think 800 is fine sizing. Don't really want to go much smaller, maybe 750 would be fine, but you don't really want to give like absurdly good buttons to call. This guy has been actually quite passive, I think, against limping, but fortunately this time he went for it. Actually got that smaller double trouble free roll ticket. Lost, I think, is it more than 20 euro or 40 euro? I think it's more than 20 euro. You will get to lose in the cash games in a single day. Theory wise, this is pretty bad bet, I would say, but could be fine anyway. This is actually pretty nice board run out. Overall, of course, backdoor flush draw does come, but. And he was bluffing. Thank you. Don't bluff calling machine. That's the number one rule in poker. Well, let's not try to limp 9-6. Suited ace. This could be even 4-bet. Ace 6, I think. Calling right away. And just checking back to the left table and calling if he bets. That should be pretty good to river card, obviously. No point to bet. Point 5. Well, I think we lost pretty much the minimum here. We would go for the shove with suited. Would never do this with crappy offsuit hands, so, or offsuit ace. Some king, queen off or something would be fine. What the hell he thinks with the quit eight? Oh. Has to run into nuts basically again. Well, pocket nines. It's weird if this guy shoves because 4x open. Doesn't make any sense to be open raising like that. I wonder what I would assume he probably raise folds against the small blinds. Maybe. Well, 7-9, I will open shove. Maybe 9-6 I would also, but not weaker than that at least. Well, if we win one game, we are going to make tiny profit, basically. Try to check back, top left we have some showdown value and we definitely don't want to get raised. Use this mandatory call. And just calling raising doesn't really make any sense. Third not this board scenario. Can't really fold, I mean. Of course we are losing when he sizes it like that, we are actually losing to most of the value range probably, but I have the third nuts. Oh well, unfortunate hand. Had to hit the flush when it wasn't out. And we bounced back to game here on the right table. Jack, we now this looks good. Small blind should be pretty much crossing this guy's range. Oh, god damn it, these black boxes. Bad outcome for me. Backdoor flush with dominated hand. Don't call. Well, we might be ahead of King Jack or something like that. If we are lucky when the call comes, or if the call comes. In 10 we have the shove pretty much, I think. Be too strong to win fold. I think I have been pretty tight here, so. This looks expensive. This guy shoves. I'm actually going to fold. I don't really want to shove or min raise. I think we kind of have to shove here, but oh, this is not some nasty setup once again. Now shoving that one. This guy seems to try limping quite a lot. And again, kind of same story. The thing is that we can of course raise that, it's fine, but it's just one of those. You can't really raise call against the big blind, and you open the chance for the tip leader to have to use the situation. So and yeah, in this scenario, I don't really have much of a, or pretty much any or raise range against decent looking opponent. But to shove or limp basically. We could call against the 1/3 here. The top right should be. We don't have clubs, that's a good thing. I don't know, do we get, kind of doubt we get any A high. Or better to fold anyway. That's board run out. We probably would need to shove if we want to. Hopefully the ace-10 is winning this time. Oh well, kind of a middle finger stuff. All stack keeps winning. This goes off. Are the small stack, so I think it's really close. I'm not totally sure then. Airy board. Oh Jesus. Yep, and when I hit the ace, it has to be some sort of. Oh, I have combo draw. Well, this will be call. That's better. 10, actually drawing dead at that point. If the 10 comes, I have the full house. Would have been a snap call against the shove. I suppose now we are folding against the pot to lead. That's the downside of limping. Limping that type of hand. If you never limp that type of hand, then you are probably going to have under-defended limping range. We're not going to have mid to high pocket pair often enough. If you try to limp some of the weak and medium strength stuff and not have any of those. 8 jack, not enough. Should be 7.6 big blind in the Nash. Shove. No shove this time. I think we can still defend. Use 10 shooter. Kind of interesting flop. I think we could call here. I think raising is overplay, but get some chances to bluff like this one, for example. I'm going to shove here, which I would do with the 8x. That called top pair. Well, unfortunately, I didn't have the strength. And he wakes up. Oh Jesus. Well, lucky turn. I mean, mandatory shove, obviously, with the suited check. But yeah, I think it's fine. Fine line to use. I mean, it's rainbow flop as well. Actually, well, in 10-7 and such, I wouldn't turn into bluff, so maybe 10-6 I might also value some like 9-7 or 9-5 type of stronger 2 pairs. Oh, he hit the jack. Well, once again we lost the flip, lost the heads up. Well, tiny bit down on this session. Like 15 euro or something. Let's see here. I don't know. Maybe we did some black match plays, but I think overall pretty solid stuff overall. Anyway, not such a good session, but bye for now.